I ask you a question? Are you ready to get and keep momentum in your business? I hope so, because it's Penny Elliott here, your host to having the perfect mix of the woo with the do. If you're ready to create the life that you want through a business designed by you, then tune in. Welcome to another episode of the Get Momentum for Online Entrepreneurs podcast with your host, me, Penny Elliott. This is the show where we mix the woo with the do. So it's your perfect mix of mindset and strategy to have fast success in your online business, to finally live the life you thought you were going to when you first started your business. And today I'm very honored actually to have Christine Russell with me, who is one of the doTERRA queens from the Northern Hemisphere. She is going to introduce herself, but first of all, I wanted to just say a huge thank you to you, because literally would not be sitting here without bags under my eyes if it wasn't for you and your team and everyone that you have inspired to share the message of oils and how good they are and how much they can change the way that you live your life. I was a real non-believer. I'm going to come out and say that straight. And one of my friends, Lynn Taggart, said, no, you're having a baby. You need to jump on a call with me and I'm going to show you a few things. And one of them was clary sage, and you meant to rub that onto your breast to like help the milk come in. And I was having a planned C-section, cesarean. And so I thought, right, I definitely need to do this because I don't want to starve my baby for a few days while my body catches up with the fact that it's given birth. And I had colostrum in the recovery ward, and the nurse was so surprised. She'd never seen that before. And that's because I'd been putting clary sage on for like the 5 days before I had my operation. I used lavender, diluted, really low dose of lavender in the roller balls and bottles, and I put it on my son's feet, who never used to sleep for very long. And all of a sudden we started getting longer sleeps. And I love his little elephant. He loves it as well. That is his diffuser in his room. And especially when he's sick, it just takes all the pain out of it. The easy air means that, you know, he slept through the night when he had croup. Right? And so I am forever in debt to you for helping me in that personal world. And then also in the business side as well, I use the oils all the time for clarity and creativity. And we were just talking off air. I've got a whole chapter in my book about them as well. So I'm a total convert and I love them and I think they're amazing. And I'm so honored to have you on the show today.
Thanks, Penny. I'm honored to be with you. And truly, when I hear stories like that, I get so re-anchored in my why.
Yeah.
Right. Why I'm doing what I'm doing. Hearing other women have stories like my own story, you know, obviously different variations, but just having success with a natural wellness tool that I've been able to share, or that's, you know, someone has shared with them, another woman. It's really powerful. So I love hearing those personal stories. Thanks.
Amazing. And so do you want to share a little bit about like what you do and how you help people and what your journey's been?
Sure. So my name is Christine. I live in Canada, in Toronto, and I have 3 little girls, 6, 4, and a baby, 10 months. So lots of girl power. And in fact, they're out at the park right now. And I said, I have a podcast that I'm recording. You guys have to leave.
Out.
Out. Yeah. It's mommy's work time, and they get it, right? Which is really powerful also for your kids to really honor and embrace that. Feels like I'm reworking the DNA setting that had been defaulted into us, right? That like moms aren't supposed to work, and if they do, it's a huge sacrifice for the family, and oh, that's so shitty. Whereas I'm rewriting the story, like I'm doing what I love every single day, and I'm helping other mommies, and they're like, yeah, right? They're so into it, you know, which, you know, makes they're really little, but we're starting right away. So my background is in well-being and wellness. I started a yoga and wellness studio in Toronto called 889 It's called the 889 Community. Back in 2007, it seems like so long
ago. A few years ago.
I ran it for 11 years, founded it with my sister Emily.
Mm-hmm.
We ran it together and we sold it in 2018, which was very exciting, and it's still going, which is amazing.
Aww.
That was the beginning of my journey of natural well-being, of the understanding that there was a mind-body connection that I believed needed to be more accessible. So when I started doing yoga, when I was living out in Los Angeles in my early 20s, I remember going to yoga because I wanted to meet people and community. And what ended up happening was that on the mat, I had this for the first time, I had this connection of like, oh, wow, this is like, there's something here, the way this is making me feel. And so I dug a little bit deeper in the way, with my business savvy. I went to business school and had always dreamed about being an entrepreneur. I said, you know what? I got to quit this high flying, fancy pants, well-paying job that I've got here, and I need to bring this to women in Toronto. And I did. And it was a gorgeous journey of very accessible yoga, Pilates, bar classes, a beautiful shop, and enter essential oils. I was introduced to the oils through our retail shop. And I thought, well, how perfect. I'm going to get a couple of those little diffusers. I have mine sitting over beside me. I'm going to put in some nice oils. We're not going to have to burn candles anymore. This is so great. And that's how I got started using essential oils, thinking that it was just to smell good. I didn't understand at that time that there was a beautiful therapeutic benefit, which Penny shared at the beginning, and how the oils can work with our body systems to improve, to upgrade, to reorganize energy, cellular health, you name it. So I started, the first time I used an essential oil therapeutically was Digest Zen, or Zengest, which is the digestive. I'd always had my problems, and at the time I was pregnant, so it was magnified, because anything that I ever had pre-pregnancy, when I was pregnant, it was very magnified. So I started using the Zengest for digestion, had blow my mind results, and thought, oh my gosh, there's something here. Then I watched some of my customers use the oils and have really powerful results, similar to yours, with the doctor saying wow, you've closed them right away. This is incredible. And so in that moment, I knew that there was something there. And I knew equally that I was made for more. So I'd been running my studio, which we loved. I mean, imagine birthing your first business. Selling it was challenging. And at the same time, I knew that moving my business to becoming a wellness advocate for doTERRA, which is the essential oil company that I work with, was going to enable me to take a lot of my business online. Yeah. It was going to enable me to work the type of hours and live the lifestyle that I wanted to with 3 young children. At the time it was 2, now 3. So, moving from a bricks and mortar wellness-based business, very successful, to a more of an online business where I'm now mentoring women globally on using essential oils, and then also women who have decided to take this up as a business, as I have. So it's a little bit of a background, a little bit personal, family, business, it all kind of goes like this.
It's incredible. And you still do it with your sister, right?
I do. Yeah. We have our so we sold our first business. We launched our second business in 2017. And it's called Essential Sisters. Yeah. And so the 2 of us have Essential Sisters together now, and we're empowering women all over the world using these beautiful little bottles of plant magic.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for that. I mean, so I guess in both businesses, but especially online, we all like to talk about consistent clients and growing that business, and you talked about how you birthed it, and then you've birthed the second one and you're growing it. So what is your secret sauce for having that consistent flow of clients coming to your business?
Care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, care.
Yeah.
I think that both in the bricks and mortar and a business that's more online, having a customer feel like they are an important human being on your path is everything.
Yeah.
Because when we transact in more of a traditional way, like you shop on Zara.com or you go to the grocery store, nobody's following up with you. No one's asking you how you like the product. No one's saying, you know what? I know that you've got 2 really little kids in school. What about something for their immune systems right now? There's just no personal care and relationship. And so I think in doing business successfully and powerfully today as an entrepreneur, as a woman, we get to leverage our natural born talent of connection, right? Of one-to-one heartfelt energy, and have that be our business.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. And I do believe that no business is too big to maintain that one-to-one connection. We grew a successful 7-figure business, and I knew by the end, I didn't know everybody's name anymore because it had grown so big. But we knew people's names, we listened, we greeted them with kindness. And that is the same that is translated into my current business today, where I reach out to my customers regularly. They hear from me regularly, unless they don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's that personal connection that I think is really key, that caring, that genuine care. Because, who really cares about you?
Exactly. I know where lately I've got a couple of journals in the, I've been trying a few different planning journals and things like that. And a couple of them have been sent to me, like Alon's 90X planner, and he's written a personal note on the inside of each planner. And then I just got this other one from Charles Clark, who was the 6th fastest sprinter in America. And he wrote a personal note on the inside, and he actually wrote good luck with the half Ironman, which was part of an email that I'd sent backwards and forwards with his staff, not him.
Yeah.
And just that, I thought, oh my goodness, he really cares. And then you know what I did then? I put it on my Instagram, said how awesome it was, and instantly he replied back to me and said, this is great, and I guess that's what you're saying. The care will then come back, and that's how the consistent clients keep flowing in, because you care. And so people say, she's wonderful.
Yeah, and I think when you're doing what you love, you do care. So it's not this inauthentic box that you're ticking, like, oh, make sure you care, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're doing what you really love, like, you would agree with me, right? Like, you do care. And I bet you he sat down to write to sign books, and he was like very intentional about who he was sending them to, right? And not being like,
like a book signing.
Yeah.
Hundreds of them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I really do think it's care. Mm-hmm.
And so I guess there's the flip side of that though, isn't there? So there's the side where it isn't going that great in business. Like, how have you kind of like got over a hiccup to move forward in your business?
Well, in my current business, I would say my essential oils business, it took me a while to realize the belief that other women were coming along with me on this journey. I was reluctant to talk about my new business because I started my new business when I had my existing business. And I had this little story woven in my mind about, which you guys listening might have a story woven about as well. It might be a little bit different, but what's my current staff going to think if I am over here also starting a new business? Like, when I'm talking about my doTERRA business, are they going to be wondering, like, well, why aren't you talking about your yoga business? I had this little story very intricately woven through my mind that said, you know what, Christine, just keep it this tiny little side hustle. Don't really talk about it. Do not talk about the business side. You can talk about the oils a little bit, but don't talk about the business because, you know, you're supposed to be doing this other thing. So I, you know, in thinking about your own businesses to our listeners, who's that little voice telling you, don't do it, you know, this isn't what you should be doing? If you hear a should, I think that's always a really good mindset indicator. When you hear that word should, that there's something underneath that needs some exploration. So as soon as I decided in that moment, I remember the moment, I remember where I was standing, I remember who I was talking to on their phone, I remember what I was wearing. And she said to me, she said, are you talking about the business? And I said, no. She said, you've gotten this far without talking about the business? And I said, yeah, I have.
Was that Elena?
It was actually Elena's upline. Yeah, and then right after I hung up the phone and I called Elena and I said, Elena, Marcy said to me that I'm, you know, not talking about the business and I need to start, but so we got into it. She's like, okay, what's blocking you? What's your little story, right? So we all have these little stories. And that was mine. And I think it was a big transition for me because it also enabled me to move from, oh, this is just my little side hustle. This is my little hobby that I just do because I really love it. But I don't really make any money, but it's kind of fun. To saying, this is my business.
Yeah.
This is my business. And when I started treating it like a business, it blossomed, it exploded. And I think that may resonate for a lot of women because I think we're sort of taught to like, oh, just do something on the side because, you know, your man's work is more important, or your corporate 9 to 5 is much more important because it has benefits, or, you know, blah, 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 all the things. If there's inspiration, if there's passion, if there's love, and like you just can't help yourself, that's how I felt. I couldn't stop. I couldn't help myself because I loved it so much. Follow that.
Yeah. Well, then you're just in a place where you're just doing something you love all the time, right?
Exactly.
And I guess like the next question I always ask is like, if you're going back to the beginning, starting your business, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your young entrepreneurial self? But I guess it's that, isn't it?
Yeah, it would
follow
just
the thing that you're passionate and love about, and just forget about the
get over yourself.
You know,
yourself. That's what I would say to Christine. I would be like, Christine, get over it. Get over yourself and all these little stories that you've made up, right? Because you are the one that's holding yourself back. I was the one that was holding myself back. Yeah. And had I just stepped out of the story and into my power and my beliefs and my passion, could have all happened sooner. Although I believe in divine timing.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be my message.
Yeah. Okay, and so what legacy are you wanting to create and leave in this online space now? I have a bit of an idea because I think you two are quite good at talking about this in the wider world.
I really try to live my legacy every day. So instead of trying to, and not, you know, I'm not successful at it every day, but instead of thinking of as some big, someday thing, I'm trying to make it like, am I living in my truth and my purpose today?
Yeah.
That is, that's something that I'm constantly working on. I think in my sort of past life, I would be more of a, oh, and then someday, and then someday, and then someday, and it's like, how about right now? Yeah. How can I live into that legacy and be that legacy today? So that's something that I've been thinking about a lot. But in terms of the online space, for me, what's most important in showing up and leading and having the, you know, the honor and responsibility of having followers is to just show up as often as I can as myself. So yes, I have beautiful photos on my feed, and I try to, marry them with ones that are, a little bit more real life. In my stories, I'm very, very intentional about coming on the camera often, looking the way I look. If I've got my messy hair and my no makeup, and like that's how I am. And I think that is going to be an important part of my legacy for my business online. Just women seeing women as who they are. I mean, don't you find it's fun during COVID? Like everybody's just showing up. Like I remember Oprah was like lying in bed, with her of course it's Oprah, so she has this chic turban on, and she's like reading her book and sipping her wine. And I don't know, I've loved seeing this like undone element of women getting to see who they really are, and how we run so much of our life with our ponytails and our, still got your workout gear on, and aren't perfectly made up and wearing a nice press shirt, right? All the time.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think, and I think that's really important that people do show up as their real self. Because I have this theory that men make it in the online business really quickly and fast because they can show up. They put a t-shirt on, they go like this, and then they can talk on camera, and they're ready to go, right? And people are listening to them and not looking at like what shade of lipstick they've got on, what hair color, oh, have they got roots, have they got this? People listen to their message. And women are like, oh, well, I've got something really good to say. Oh, that'd be great as a live. Oh, but I've got to go and do my makeup. I've got to blow dry my hair to like match all these photos that are on my website. And, I haven't plucked my eyebrows, and there's so many, or I'm in my workout gear, or I'm doing this. And by the time they have all these excuses, the moment's gone. The message is gone. The thought's gone. And then they're back to not doing a live for the day. I've done an experiment on it, and if I wear red lipstick, I've got a bright red lipstick, my views on my live feeds go up something like 300%.
What?
Yes. Versus a lighter colored shade lipstick. I did an experiment on it. I literally spoke about exactly the same thing at exactly the same time over like a couple of weeks, and
it's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I've had some people say to me when they've met me in person, oh, where's your curls? And I'm like, you know how long it took to get to get ready for that photo shoot? It's not happening every day, lady.
Also, I know that the woman that I want to attract into my business to do business with me as business partners is going to want someone like me, right? That's because when I'm showing up who I am, I know that that's who I'm going to attract in. I'm probably going to repel somebody that's, sees me and is like, oh, why is she in her, sweatpants again? Or what, get out of bed, lady.
Brush your hair, woman.
Right? Brush that hair. I'm like, I can't even find my hairbrush. My kids take my hairbrush. They take my oils. They take my hairbrush. They take my hair dryer. I don't know where anything is. So here I am.
Exactly. So I guess if people want to see you in your sweatpants without your hairbrush and no hair dryer, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, follow my Instagram stories. So I'm at Essential Christine.
Yes.
And if you follow my reels, you're gonna see me in my life, in my world, pregnant, postpartum, all the things, and I think COVID really has, brought that beauty out in women again, that it's it's okay. It's fabulous to get on there and just be you. You don't have to be these massively curated feeds. Do you remember that kind of beginning period of COVID where when you'd see something overly curated, it was weird?
Yeah.
You're like, we know that you haven't been producing that content during this period of time because no way all those things happened during lockdown.
And everyone's photos of them where they just pay to sit in a private jet and have those photos taken, they always really wound me up. And then it just cracks me up now because all of that is just absolutely not true whatsoever, because we can't fly anywhere. So that makes me laugh. So I guess if they can get in touch with you through Instagram, You guys can see how she uses oils every day in her life, and like how the beautiful like online space and in-person space that you guys used to create, and it's really gorgeous. It's like a place to go and hang out. Have you got something that you could for our listeners that they could download, or do they go and have a look at your website? Like, where's a really...
Yes, I have created an audio recording, Penny, just for your followers.
Ooh.
A loving kindness meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to serve the woman. It's going to serve the entrepreneur. It's going to serve the mother, because it's a loving kindness meditation where we're focusing on loving kindness for ourselves and then sending it outwards. And so your listeners are going to get a little taste of that as a gift from me.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, well, I know your followers, and I know that they're women and they're running businesses, and they're lots of them are running businesses online, and I know what that takes. And so and meditation, I thought, would be the nicest gift.
Wow. Okay, so you guys can definitely
self-care for some, like, I'm going to take 8 minutes, because that's how long it is, and I'm just going to love on myself for 8 minutes.
Amazing. I really love that. Thank you. I'm very humbled. That's great. So make sure that you guys jump on over to the show notes and download that. We'll put the link in there for you, and then you can have it on your phone, and you can give yourself the care every day. There you go. 8 minutes a day. So the last soundbite that I always end the show on is, what's your favorite one-liner you give yourself to get momentum in your business daily?
Okay, I have two. It's very quick. Do you want to do it with me?
Sure.
I always grab an oil, so I'll grab a lavender because it's right here. Grab an oil, take it in your palms, so you can move it together. Take
I love this one.
Inhale. And then take your fourth finger and tap your third eye, just really gently, and say, I am here.
I am here.
I am clear.
I am clear.
I am here.
I am here.
I am clear.
I am clear.
I am here.
I am here.
I am clear.
I am clear.
And then you can move the taps using all your fingers into the center of your chest. And you can say, I'm doing great.
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 Yeah.
Amazing.
Just a little tool that I use. I'll use in the middle of my day. I'll use it at the beginning of my day. I'll use it if I'm getting, frustrated or discouraged or feeling rushed, or, don't know which priority to choose. You just take that simple, like, you use the oil as the aromatic anchor. It brings me undoubtedly right back to, like, what needs to get done next, where I need to go with my,
we all face that. Yeah.
So it's important to do, because sometimes we get running in these directions. If you're like, you're following your to-do list and you're like, but are you actually getting the thing done that you need to get done?
Yeah.
That helps me to just take a minute and go back in and get out of that, like, busy energy and into, like, okay, what's really happening here right now?
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
It was so nice, and I'm sure all of the listeners are going to love this episode, and also your fantastic meditation. So thank you. And make sure that you jump onto the show notes, everyone, and grab the download and follow Christine at Essential Christine, all one word.
All one word.
On Instagram, and you'll be able to see how she lives her life and how oils enhance her life, and all the wonderful people that she works with as well. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll connect soon.
Yeah. And so if you guys love the show and you feel like someone else needs to hear this message as well, make sure that you please share the show with that person. And you can always just send them the link on whatever platform you think that they're going to enjoy. And also to spread the word, to make sure that people who don't know you, but go to the podcast and think, should I listen to this or not? Everyone looks at peer reviews. So make sure you go to ratethispodcast.com/penny, and there's simple instructions there, and leave a review if this episode helps shift you in any way, so that you too can help encourage other women to take that shift as well. Thank you. If you love the woo with the do and you want to dive deeper into how you too can get and keep momentum in your business, then join thousands of other online entrepreneurs like yourself and head on over to Amazon and grab a copy of my book, Get Momentum, your ultimate guide to create 100K in 100 days without fear, overwhelm, and burnout. And while it's being delivered to you, you'll have time to leave a 5-star review of the podcast before you head on over to the next episode.